Welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. Pasta Jardula here.
And I'm Fiorella.
Johnny Sue is spinning on the ones and twos. Fams, it's Wednesday. I'm excited. I have to get like a energetic, say my lines, all powerful. You know how it is. I mean, what do you want me to do? Just dial it back a notch and say it more
like,
professional?
Dial it back like 20 notches. Pasta.
20 notches. Dialed back for Pasta. Look, we're on the Facebook. The Facebook sees, we see 5 of you over there. That we need more. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. On the True Rebel Network over there, we see Holly Horn, Karen M. Thank you for coming to our substitute channel over here.
Channel.
Our sister channel. Thank you so much. Really, it is awesome to see Holly Horn and Karen M. just jump on right away. They got you subscribed. They're locking down. Like, share, subscribe. We're almost out of the corner. And, of course, our Rockfin fam. We got a couple over there, so we want to let people matriculate on in, fam. I like that word, right? We use that word in sports. Matriculate. Matriculate the puck up the ice. Anyways, guys, it's Wednesday. A lot of crazy stuff. We were talking last night, fam. We were laughing. I was almost about to cry. This is nuts what's going on over here. The apocalypse, is it upon us or no?
It's been upon us. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but...
Well, we'll get into all that stuff as we go along. But let's get to the first story. We'll jump right into it and stuff. Biden eyes GOP candidates for candidate slots. Tell us about it, fam. Not a surprise for me.
Well, basically, it's in the title, right? The Biden transition team is eyeing these Republicans for specific cabinet positions. And if you guys don't know, Bush and Obama had continued this legacy. Supposedly it stopped with Trump, and now Joe Biden is trying to, like he's been doing this whole time, play both sides, trying to say that, oh, I'm a liberal, but I'm not that liberal, and I'm not banning fracking, and I'm gonna veto the Medicare for all, and blah blah blah. So he's like trying to get a bunch of Republicans happy, the Republicans who hate Donald Trump, by putting Republicans in his cabinet positions instead of listening to the progressives who were actually begging him to do anything so they could have an excuse to vote for him. But they're not doing it. And why aren't they doing it? Because if you already told him you're going to vote for him no matter what, why the hell would he give you anything? I just go back to this stupid thing like over and over again. Like, why would Joe Biden give the left anything if the left has already said they're going to vote for him because they hate Donald Trump so much? I don't really see the logic in that, do you?
No, I mean, I love that meme where it's the clown putting the face on. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And when he gets in office and half the face is done, and then the nose goes on, then we'll make him move to the left. No, it's ridiculous. Why would he move anywhere when you've already given his vote because of Orange Man bad? I mean, they played this trick in 2016. They were open about it. Hillary Clinton and her team was like, let's elevate the Pied Piper story. Let's get Donald Trump out there. He's the most scary thing. And they're doing the same thing again. There's no reason to vote for the Democrats and Joe Biden other than Orange Man bad. And this makes no sense if you really think, first of all, you're not mitigating damage. You're just perpetuating the two-party duopoly. And on paper, the pen of Joe Biden has been just as harmful, if not worse, than Donald Trump, because he's had 47 years to screw things up. He's a warmonger to the nth degree. He's surrounded by controversy coming around with his son. Everything left and right now just seems like it's falling apart at the seams. But once again, I think this is just a plot to get Kamala Harris where they want to get her. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole point is to get Kamala Harris there.
And you ain't moving her.
So among the possible names floated are going to be Meg Whitman, who's the CEO of Quibi and a former CEO of eBay, and former Ohio governor, of course, John Kasich. What a wonderful leftist progressive he is. And both of these people, of course, spoke at the Democratic Convention. Why did you guys think that they were going to speak at the Democratic Convention? There's also Charlie Baker, Jeff Flake, the Republican from Arizona, and the former Republican Charlie Dent of Pennsylvania, who resigned Congress in 2016 and became a lobbyist. These are just wonderful people that we're having. Cindy McCain is also being floated around. I'm not surprised. I think a lot of people are upset about this, but we've been telling you that there is absolutely no guarantee that a Joe Biden presidency is going to bring in some sort of like better politicians in his cabinet. I don't know where you got that idea, if he is bought by the corporations and the lobbyists, why would you on earth think that it would be any different than it has ever been, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat? Like you see here,
Yeah.
they
But
work
fam,
in
we need to
tandem.
reach across the aisle.
They'll reach across the aisle for shit that is war, money, and corporate power, but they will not reach across the aisle for things that are important, like civil liberties, like our Medicare for all, like ending
Yeah.
all wars. Like they won't do that.
Yeah.
They actually reach across the aisle to continue the war machine.
And it's who across the aisle they're reaching across. So when you start saying some of these
Exactly.
names, these are like pro-imperialist, big-time corporations. They're not like ideology of people like, libertarians or right-wingers, whatnot. It's not reaching across the aisle for ideology. It's putting more corporate interest in positions that they can control everything and just resource extraction everywhere. But the interesting thing, fam, that I find is when I hear people start talking about you got to vote Biden over Trump, is that it's totally litigated or perceived completely in the mainstream media. It's just that the mainstream media says Donald Trump's a racist, he's bad, he's awful, he calls Mexicans all types of dirty names. But when it comes to policy, they can't push anybody anywhere because his policies are so bad. So what, if you were really like working for the Biden campaign, God help you, what would you really say? I mean, what area? At first I said it was global warming, climate change. I said Biden would be better than Donald Trump. He moved away from that position. He gave up that position. He continued to say he's going to not ban fracking. What area would Donald Trump really be less than Joe Biden? He would be better. I mean, give me a real reason to vote for Joe Biden. Here's what I'm trying to say. Can you think of one? I'm trying to.
I mean, if I were Joe Biden's campaign, I would have done it entirely different. I would have embraced the progressive platform. I would have said, I'm going to, we're going to work on Medicare for all. We're going to get it done. We're going to have some sort of Green New Deal type of thing. Even if he would have said any of that, I think people would have voted for him if he would have focused on the millennial vote. But that's not.
That was his first objective, was to put that down, I think.
But that's not what he's doing,
Yeah.
because I don't even think like the goal is to win. I think the goal is to just continue the status quo, right? We don't want any progressive policies, even if it costs us the election. We just want to make sure that nothing changes. And he said it himself. So why don't people believe him? I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But this is just another this is just the reality, and I don't understand why people keep getting upset when this is going to continue to happen, especially when there's no reason for Joe Biden to really concede on anything. There's no reason for the Democrats to concede on anything, because they don't care about winning. They care about maintaining the status quo. You've already declared your vote for him. We have Bernie Sanders sending text messages to raise funds so he can continue to travel around the country to defeat Donald Trump, which translates to voting for Joe Biden. We have a lot of people going out on the campaign, a lot of progressives pushing the we have to get Trump out narrative. Yeah, nobody wants Trump in there on the left. The vast majority of us don't. But you can't use that as the excuse to put in somebody like Joe Biden, who is a warmonger, criminal.
Yeah.
He's got a disgusting record, and you're trying to bury that by just focusing on Trump.
Yeah.
It's just so disingenuous.
I hear a
and
lot of
backward.
people, though, fam. What about the DACA reason? People go, oh, DACA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm against it because, not against DACA, but that's not a reason for me, because Joe Biden has caused the problems of migration. He's been part of the imperialist mentality to send all these people here. So just so he's putting up a Band-Aid on the front end, from the problem he caused, that's not enough for me to say, oh, no, that's a good reason to vote for Joe Biden. But I do often hear it from a lot of those activists and those people online and social medias and the YouTubes and everywhere else. They say DACA. DACA is a good reason that Joe Biden is going to be better on immigration.
Joe Biden deported millions of people with Barack Obama. I don't understand why he's going to be better on immigration. He was the one that started floating around the idea of a fence like over 10 years ago, 13 years ago.
40 stories high.
I mean, I just don't understand. Maybe in symbolism he would be better, because he says things like, we're going to protect immigrants and blah, blah, blah. But he literally told other immigrants if they don't like him, they should vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand where they get this idea that DACA. And you're right, because immigration-wise, the results of the mass immigration is because of the foreign policy during the Obama presidency, which Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton were a part of. So why would we want to go back to that? For it to create more immigration issues in this country and in all these other countries that are now war-torn, destroyed, and full of complete unrest because of our actions.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden has continued to say that he wants to go into China. He wants to go into Venezuela. So why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know what to tell you. When Joe Biden opens his mouth, I don't know what to believe anymore. Where he's at, you know. But I will tell you this much: that it was surprising when I heard yesterday that Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Joe Biden in their first 4 years deported more people than Donald Trump. I was so surprised. I thought Donald Trump was going to give them a run for their money, but that just wasn't the case. And a lot of that had to do with the Honduras. A lot of people from Honduras got deported because they were here fleeing what happened from when Manuel Zelaya was removed by the Clinton regime. And I say the Clinton regime because she was the Secretary of State at that time. So, I mean, yeah, when I heard those numbers, it's kind of crazy right now. It's like they're losing things to stand on. The two things I thought that they had an area where maybe immigration and maybe a Green New Deal or climate change and stuff, and they moved away from those positions.
And they're not doing anything about the hysterectomies. They're not doing anything about ICE. There could be like a push right now to like make an example out of Trump, and the Congress could do something and say, you know what, we're going to abolish ICE. We're going to remove ICE. This shouldn't be happening. This is complete injustice. But the Joe Biden campaign does not want to abolish ICE. They do not want to do that at all. They don't even want to. They don't even want to touch it. Yep. So again, doesn't want to do Medicare for all, doesn't want to abolish ICE, doesn't want to deal with the immigration issue, doesn't really want to deal with the climate change issue. What the hell are we getting out of this other than just symbolism, a slower death? and yeah, somebody that's slightly more polite, and I say slightly because Joe Biden is crass too. He doesn't really mince his words very much. He puts his foot in his mouth all the time. So I just do not see it like policy wise, logically, what we're getting out of voting for Joe Biden over Trump.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to also reiterate too as well, the reason why I won't vote for Donald Trump is those policies in South and Central America. He has kind of doubled down on those Obama policies, what's going on in El Salvador and backing that regime. And, you know, Bolivia is on the map right now. We got to see what's going on over there. But the Venezuelan policy was really, really messed up. I thought Donald Trump was going to change that policy, cut a deal, try to get that oil somehow, the great negotiator. He didn't. Right. He tried to go along with regime change as well. So that's a big reason why I will not vote for Donald Trump either. But to say that Joe Biden is any better, in fact, I still think he's worse. His pen is much worse than Donald Trump's rhetoric, because Donald Trump was open about ICE and he talked to ICE because he went out and got those people who supported that race baiting to get those votes. That's why he opened his mouth about it.
I won't vote for Trump because of that too.
That's
like
the main
I think
reason.
It's important.
That's like boom.
Well, I think it's important what he says to a degree,
of course.
because it's fomenting a certain sense of entitlement in a lot of people. But like, it doesn't mean that that's not been there before. It's been here for a long time.
They were just quiet about
dealt
it.
With.
And that's Obama and Biden. They were like quiet about the way they deported people. You know what I'm saying? They didn't brag about it, but they actually put a profit margin into a lot of these detention centers. You know, I remember Obama supporting Debbie Wasserman Schultz and endorsing her. Meanwhile, she got caught with her hand in a cookie jar for privatizing that detention center, that immigrant detention center that she said in the middle of a debate with Tim Canova, when Tim was just sitting there smiling because she was just exposing herself. But that's what the Democrats are all about. They're part of that same system. Like you said, they're the architects. Donald Trump is just filling the cages.
Yeah, Donald Trump is filling the cages. I mean, the Democrats and Republicans are both part of the same oligarchy. You're never going to catch me voting for either one of them for president. It's just, that's it. We're done with the system. We're absolutely done. There's no redemption. There's no way past it. We just have to be completely done with both parties, and that's that. Like, there's no excuse to voting for Donald Trump either, in my opinion, because it's like you're giving into the same sort of like establishment, even though you think that he's anti-establishment. His actions haven't shown that to be. His actions haven't shown to be anti-interventionist. His actions haven't shown to be against the deep state. He's literally the one that is carrying the crusade against Julian Assange. So again, those of you who say, well, Donald Trump, no, like he's literally like obviously letting this happen with the censorship. He could do something about it. If he does, that might save him the election. It might hand him the election if he does something like that, I think. But right now, the Democrats are doing a lot of harm to themselves, so.
It's kind of funny, too, because it says already members of the Democratic left are making their opinions known. And this is the part that just drives me crazy, fam. Left-wing lawmakers and progressive groups on Friday signed a letter saying no corporate executives or lobbyists should have Senate-confirmed positions in Biden administration. Well, it's too late. He's already had all those people infested in his policies, infested in his cabinet. And Siegel and other progressive leaders say they are supporters and ready to loudly oppose the nomination to anyone with a record they find objectionable. by the Republicans or Democrats. Now, fam, this is that whole kind of like virtue signaling of sorts. You're going to stomp your feet, you're going to raise your hands, you're going to scream about it, but nothing's going to get done. You're really not going to oppose these people. And why don't you oppose these people for so long? If you are different than the establishment Democrats, then draw a line in the sand. Don't just vote with them and go with them after. Don't capitulate to Mama Bear. Go fight her and say enough is enough. Say enough is enough. Start drawing a line. Whatnot. I mean, at what point? Maybe they have a deal. I mean, I'm almost thinking that power is going to eventually be handed over to AOC once Mama Bear is ready to leave the house. But I mean, I would make a play right now. I put my flag in the sand and go, boom, we're going to oppose the establishment from now on. No more after this election. No more after they cheated us. No more after they made us support a guy like Joe Biden. No more. But really make a move. Don't just sit there and say that, oh, you guys are bad, and let it go.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no point in saying you're bad after you've been campaigning and pledging and getting all these people to vote for him. What's the point? You're doing it after the fact. You should have said my vote is a conditional dependent upon whether you do XYZ, and I will bring my people with me if you do XYZ. But if you don't, then no, we're just going to sit by and watch the Republican Party cream you. But they have no spine. None of these people, including the AOCs, including the progressives, they're not fighting anything. They're too busy playing Twitch.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to that eventually. Johnny, anything else on this subject? All right, so the next one. Really quick, just want to say hi to a couple people out there. There are 21 watching. Holly Horn, Glory Jones, we love you. Little, whoever that is, welcome to the show. There are 18 people watching. Roshan, how you doing, Roshan? Rod Stiffington, I love that name. Mark Lippman, we love you. Amazing book. Tony Humanic and Faramaz. He asked if you can give the link to the Rockfin, Johnny, inside the Facebook, if possible. The Facebooks. Matthew Seville is hanging over there on the Rockfin with the Independent Left News. Guys, going over to our Rockfin, ROKFIN. This is our failsafe. We need you to get over there just in case. As you know, we are on True Rebel Network because we received a strike and we are still in the penalty box. We'll be out of it soon, but who knows what's next in the future. The Last American Vagabond, his channel has been deleted. The Amazing Polly, her channel has been deleted. So that's one person on the left, one person on the right. They don't care. If you're spewing anti-imperialist information, fam, or talking about civil liberties, they're going to shut your voice up. So we do need you to go over to Rockfin. We only have 8 of you over there. We need 30 to keep me out of the doghouse. So if you're on Facebook, go over to Rockfin. You're on the YouTubes. Go on to Rockfin. What's that? Okay, so let's get started on this one because this is where it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
This is where I'm almost afraid to talk about this stuff right nowadays because
we can talk about it in code.
In code. Well, so as reported, we'll do the first one, and that just has a lot of stuff in there. This was in Zero Hedge. This is not our opinions. This is, and Rudy Giuliani's in this too as well. Rudy Giuliani turns over the alleged photos of an underage girls from Hunter's hard drive to the Delaware police. The Newsmax TV, I didn't I should have went through and got through the Times. I don't know if we should play it anyways. But in one of the texts, and this is what Rudy Giuliani, and if you don't know the story, this hard drive was left at a computer store. The guy who was doing the repairs on the hard drive made 4 copies, gave it back. Gave a copy to Giuliani, gave a copy to the FBI. He kept 2 copies out there as a dead man switch. In other words, you try to kill him, there's other copies out there. You try to bury him, there's other copies out there. We'll get out there. That's what a dead man switch is. But it says right here from the top, things took a dark turn in the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, fam. I think there's still a chance this can sink Joe Biden. While the alleged crack cronyism corruption was enough to spark the biggest media suppression in history, and no denials whatsoever from the Biden camp, very important, the bombshell that Rudy Giuliani just dropped, if true, is egregious to say the least. Not just with regard to Hunter Biden, but the law enforcement authorities who have allegedly had this information since Trump's impeachment but did nothing about it. So in other words, the FBI had it and didn't say anything about it. In an interview this evening on Newsmax TV, former New York City mayor and current attorney to President Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, announces he's turned over Hunter Biden's laptop drives to the Delaware State Police due to pictures of underage girls and inappropriate text messages. Oh, God, man. In one of the texts, Hunter Biden allegedly says to his sister-in-law, also his lover, that he has FaceTimed a 14-year-old girl while naked and doing crack. She told my therapist I was sexually inappropriate. Giuliani adds, This would be with regard to an unnamed 14-year-old girl, adding that it's supported by numerous pictures and underage girls. So, fam, I don't really want to go too much more into this kind of situation because it does get kind of crazy and freaky out there. We started looking at that. There's a second laptop that was supposedly turned over just recently. They have over there in the Ukraine, the prosecutor of Ukraine announced on Friday that there's another one, so they'll be handing over more stuff. But they did kind of insinuate that there's a lot of bad things on there, naked girls, young girls, whatnot. I was going through Twitter yesterday, and this is one of the videos right now. It's got about 131,000 views. I can't really check fact the Himalayan Global, but this video has been going around there for a couple other channels. And this is a gentleman, once again, and this is like a lot of the people who talk about against the CCP, when they talk about the conspiracy theory part stuff, this is the area which they would always allude to, which they would talk to. You know what I'm saying? Those people, those QAnon people, whoever out there, these are the things they were referencing. And it's so weird to see it come to the forefront because about a month and a half ago, when we were covering that one Freedom Act, that one lady says, Hunter Biden's a pedophile and so his father knows about it. And I was like, where did you get that information from? She's like, what are you talking about? You didn't know that? This is all over that, you know. I'm like, I never heard any of that shit. 6 weeks later, this comes out and it's all over the news. Let's play the video. Decide for yourself, and you tell me what you think.
所以是只有特定的人才可以看得了，我都没看，但是我知道有人看过的人跟我说的啊，就告诉大家，明白吗？特定的相应的执法部门的人是可以看的。据说亨特拜登，据说啊，这有人看过的说啊，对，是一个中国女孩，也就可能就是10岁左右，可能不到10岁啊，不到10岁。这里面他用他的9.5英寸啊，你想想，然后他嗑了药以后，然后这个女孩子，然后就刚开始很痛嘛，很疼嘛，肯定。然后他说啊，不要怕，什么 uncle 什么叔叔啊，给你那个，是不是？然后就外面这个血啊，就往外面流，知道吧？然后基本上这女孩子基本上都是。这中国女孩子，我们之前跟大家说的，折腾一晚上，那你想想是啥概念？最后所有看过的，就是说，就是现在我就告诉大家啊，就像 CA 呀、AI 呀这些所有的，能把这里面的东西看到以后，然后最终你还能精神上还能正常，我是不敢看的。但有人就你的心理承受力要很大很大，你才可能啊真正活过来。很看了都是得抑郁症的，中共也知道。就算给你换点器官，你也可以耍赖，是吧？然后就算给你汇了钱，你也可以耍赖；就算给你买了房，你也可以说这不是这边。中共他控制的一定是只有这一点，而这一点是美国是最不能容忍的，而中共又可以做得到的，很容易做到。对中共来说，是吧？
Fam, I don't even know what to believe with this crap right now. Now, supposedly there's stuff on this hard drive that's going to be blurred out. Some stuff will be declassified and some stuff will be released. We've seen the picture of Hunter Biden on crack and all messed up and all these things going on. And there was a lot of stuff going on, shady deals. Now, let me just say this much right now. I don't need to get into this part right over here to still understand that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are corrupt from the finances and the resource extraction in which they've raped from these different countries, giving out information on fracking and Burisma and all that stuff, and taking, all the money that was going in through the aid through the United States. And so I don't need to get into this stuff, but we have to put it out there. It's going around. That's what a lot of these circles are talking about. Giuliani has handed this stuff over to the Delaware State Police, so we will get more clarification once they go through it. But also, too, the FBI that had this information, holding it back and hiding it and not bringing it forward. We've already seen evidence they did the same thing. Mueller did the same thing with the Epstein situation. Mm-hmm. He protected Epstein. So, I mean, what do you believe? What don't you believe, fam, at this point? But we'll just continue to keep an eye on it and see what comes about it. So,
I mean, I think where there's smoke, there's fire. There's obviously something there. We can't really say what it is, but it's. I mean, you can't really escape photographs and a hard drive, and these text messages are clearly there. So it looks bad for Hunter Biden, but I think I agree with you. Like the policy actions, the acts that he did with Joe Biden and several of the other Democrats in the Ukraine, to me, is enough
Is
to
enough,
really
yeah.
go after him. Now, the whole pedophilia thing, I know that is definitely the angle that the right is using. Whether it's true or not should be irrelevant as to your political affiliation, meaning that you should want to know the truth and you should want to hold somebody accountable for those actions, no matter where they fall on the political spectrum. It shouldn't be dependent on whether they're a Democrat or a Republican. If a Republican was doing the same thing, they should deserve the same treatment.
Well, you know what, fam? I'm going to get a deep dive, and I'm going to come up with some stuff from the old school Republicans in the George Bush era that did some of the guy accused, and there was a lot of proof and information about these guys with their pedophilia too as well. So I'm going to dig that up. That was the old school crew, pedophilia crew of sorts. It's just disgusting. And when you think about Epstein, if Epstein's the floor, we still have a serious problem we have to deal with and stuff like that. And that shit was true. Fiorella thinks that Russia might have hacked Hunter Biden's computer and put the pictures of the underage girls up.
I mean, I'm just wondering, did Russia actually do that?
Did Russia do it? Let's watch the little video real quick. It's almost got 400,000 views.
In which he says the following, and he's discussing his sister-in-law, who for quite some time was his lover. And he says, she told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate. This would be with a unnamed 14-year-old girl. When she says that I FaceTime naked with the unnamed 14-year-old girl, and the reason I can't have her out to see me is because I'll walk around naked smoking crack, talking tom girls on FaceTime. When she was pressed, she said that the unnamed 14-year-old girl never said anything like that, but the bottom line is that I created and caused a very unsafe environment for the kids. This is supported by numerous pictures of underage girls.
So, Mr. Mayor, that's dynamite stuff, and I've seen it.
I turned it over to the
You turned it over to the Delaware State Police, correct?
Yes, yesterday. Bernie Kerik and I turned it over to the Delaware State Police because we're very uncomfortable with this.
So
we're very uncomfortable with the fact that these underage girls were not protected.
It's just really obnoxious that it has to become a partisan issue because
could it be politically
CNN won't cover
motivated, fam?
Could what be politically motivated?
This information coming out.
I mean, it could be. I mean, but also this isn't new. Like in the sense of the Ukraine stuff, all that stuff isn't new. No. The media just ignored it, and Donald Trump didn't bring a lot of it up until now to use it, of course, for the election. Obviously, it's politically motivated. That doesn't mean it's not true, though. Just because it's being now like pushed in the forefront doesn't mean it wasn't true before. The thing is, at least in the Ukraine Burisma thing, now this stuff with Rudy Giuliani and the hard drive and the girls, I was confused. Who is she that he's talking about in the text message?
I think his sister-in-law,
okay,
his lover and stuff like that. I think that
his sister-in-law was his lover.
Yeah, Hunter, Bo Biden's
okay.
ex-wife. That when Bo passed
Right.
away, Hunter eventually. I think they. I mean.
Okay. Yeah, it's just confusing to figure out who was talking about what.
And let me tell you something. I've never seen anybody really attack somebody in this kind of way, as far as politically. This is like I said, this is all new territory. This is crazy.
Well, that's what the Democrats are going to say, that this is made up. That's politically, that this is Russia. That's why I said that, because I know that that's what they're going to say.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff to back a lot of these things. I mean, Epstein was for real, man. Epstein was for real, and the connections to Epstein are real. So I mean, you can only just imagine. And also, they talked about that. No, I'm talking about with pedophilia and the connections he had to people in the governments, whether it be, what I'm saying? That was already backed up. We know that's out there, whatnot. This is new stuff, so we have to go through for this. This has to be vetted. We have to see what it's true. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be released and stuff. But I'm talking about, we've already seen that pedophilia does exist within our government, and our powerful people do participate in pedophilia. That is proven. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really gone to jail for it yet. I really wish some people would. But if, like I said, if that is the floor, we still have a serious problem we need to address. The Hunter Biden stuff, it's brand new. We got to see it. But, I mean, you're talking devastating stuff if they have these videos out here. They already have the emails. They're not denying that it was his laptop and it was his hard drive. So this is crazy. I mean, Adam Schiff though thinks that it's Russia. Johnny.
Of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Does it surprise you at all that this information Rudy Giuliani is peddling very well could be connected to some sort of Russian government disinformation campaign?
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now, that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son. And the idea that the president, that the White House counsel and others were made aware that Giuliani was being used by Russian intelligence and using Russian intelligence in the sense of meeting with an agent of the Kremlin and pushing out this Kremlin false narrative. The idea that they were knowing and still on the floor of the Senate during the impeachment trial, pushing this Kremlin narrative is pretty breathtaking. But I guess at this point, we can't be shocked by anything this administration does, no matter how craven. But clearly, the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
It's not like Rudy Giuliani is peddling.
He said Kremlin 5 times. So if you had to do a shot every time he said Kremlin, you just did 5 shots, fam. 5 shots.
I just can't with Adam Schiff.
He's a liar.
Yeah.
He knew he was going around. He was peddling Russian disinformation. He's still doing it, even when he sat there in that meeting, in that hearing in 2017, and they said there was no empirical evidence. This is from CrowdStrike, the CEO, the one who told James Comey and looked at the servers. The FBI never looked at the servers. They did. And he said, no, there's no empirical evidence that Russia hacked the DNC servers. But yet he still went on this whole thing. We have more proof, declassified information that the Robbie Mook and the Clinton campaign met it up, but they're still, really.
They're the ones peddling conspiracy theories as they're censoring people for trying to investigate what the fuck's going on and for saying a lot of the truth. They're the ones that get away with putting conspiracy theories up on CNN. So if we're gonna take down YouTube channels, you should take down CNN, you should take down MSNBC, you should take down every single channel that has peddled conspiracy theories like that, if you're going to be fair, and try to say, oh, well, QAnon. No, well, QAnon is peddling, some conspiracy theories, and some of them have turned out to be true, and it's like all you're doing is validating those people, and by censoring them, you're creating this sort of thing where, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? And you're perpetuating that. You're making it worse. So censorship isn't working at all. And it's only strengthening the distrust in the government, this distrust in the system. It's just not working. And it's ridiculous that we're bringing up Russia and Putin, because Putin has zero, interest in it being Joe Biden or Trump. I mean, Donald Trump has already been really aggressive towards Russia. So I don't understand where they're getting this information other than literally making it up, that Trump and Putin are best friends, when Trump has literally been tough on Russia. And there are a list of things he has done with Russia that if he was Putin's friend, he would have actually been a little bit more less he would have had less animosity against Russia. There's not been that friendly, hey, we're gonna work together to denuclearize this and work with Iran and China. No, it's been very adversarial.
Our government throughout the whole thing is so dirty and corrupt. You know what I'm saying? And once again, you tell the lie enough times, it becomes the truth. It just sticks. Right. And it really does. There's people out there who still believe that the Russians are really trying to hack our elections. They're trying to hack our minds.
They believe that,
they're trying to hack our elections.
They don't believe that our elections are rigged, but they believe that somehow a foreign country can rig our elections, but we won't rig our own.
Yeah.
Are you what? That doesn't make any sense. And they believe it because they're brainwashed by the mainstream media propaganda machine. Yeah. That's flat out. That's the reason.
Yeah. Johnny, anything else on this subject over here? All right, let's get on to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Join up for the Rokfin, ROKFIN. Subscribe for free. $9.99 to endorse us. You get premium content across the board for everybody, and it would really help us out. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back on our regular YouTube, but we're on the True Rebel Network. Please share this link. Let's get people subscribed to this channel and get more eyes over here just in case YouTube tries to pull another move. But it looks like some help is on the way, fam, because the U.S. files an antitrust charge against Google. Google sued by the DOJ in an antitrust case over search dominance. So this is where it comes, fam.
I wonder how many liberals are going to take the side of Google in order to one-up Trump. I'm sure it's happening all over the place right now. Right? Oh yeah, well yeah, let's praise Google censorship because fuck Trump, right? That's how stupid you sound. Jesus Christ.
Well, fam, they got the people in play over there. They're more liberals. They're, Clinton supporters, Obama supporters, whatnot. The CEO of Google now supports Obama. The CEO of YouTube, she supported Clinton. Alphabet, dirty stuff going on, but we talked about this. Tulsi Gabbard, in fact, has a lawsuit against Google, if you remember correctly, when she went after, was it Mr. Ryan that day? I forget his first name. When she slayed him, she went immediately to start putting out ads. It was the most time she was being searched left and right. She needed to get money to her campaign. She needed to get a voice elevated, and her Google account was suspended. Also, and it says right here, Google now faces its first antitrust lawsuits. Its first, fam, by the federal government as the Department of Justice announces charges against the tech giant. 11 Republican state senators, attorneys generals have joined the DOJ as plaintiffs.
I mean, this is just why are Republicans suing Google? I mean, do you guys not see the problem with this? Like, you're literally validating the right. You're gonna make people go into the right. This is like history. Like, why are you making the right look less of neocons, less like neocons than the neoliberal establishment? I mean, this is just, it's sad. It's
if
really
every
sad.
step of the way the progressives would put their foot down saying, if you're going to be hypocritical, if you're going to lie, we're not going to support you. We're going to call you out. Even if we got to stand with Republicans on this one, if you're going to cheat, lie, and steal, if you're not going to call balls and strikes, we're done with you. Balls and strikes, ladies and gentlemen. Google's search and advertising businesses are the key interest for antitrust regulations. Johnny, he did a study the other day when he went on Google about the socialism. They're dictating what people can hear. They're putting out their narrative. They're going against these antitrust laws when it comes to other channels. It says you can either be a platform or a publisher. Well, that's another area. They're picking winners and losers, and they're hiding behind that law, yet they are picking winners and losers.
Right.
And they are leaning towards Donald Trump. I think he's been censored 65 times. You know how many times Joe Biden's been censored?
Zero.
So
all they're doing is making a martyr and a victim out of Donald Trump, who obviously isn't one. But
Jesus.
I mean, you're just
elevate the guy
just
some more.
Yeah, you're just helping him. That's all they're doing.
The Justice Department, the tweet today, millions of Americans rely on the internet and online platforms. Competition in this industry is vitally important, which is why today's challenge against Google for violating antitrust laws, I mean, how many times have I said that on this freaking show, fam, is a monumental case for both the DOJ and the American people. AG Barr. Since my confirmation, I have prioritized the Department of Review online market leading platforms to ensure that our technology industries remain competitive. The lawsuit strikes at the heart of Google's grip of the internet for millions of American consumers, advertisers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs beholden to an unlawful monopolist. Attorney William P. Barr. Now, I understand too as well, fam, maybe Johnny, you can confer this, but on Androids, it goes to automatically to Google or something. There is a deal that Google has made with some Android companies where Google is their prime search engine, so it kind of pops up, whatnot. And that's another thing that we're talking about. That alone, 80 to 90% of the advertising for politics and information goes through Google, so their power is enormous. And we have talked about making it a public utility. That's the best thing. When they become that big and that powerful, they should be taken over as a public utility with a board, oversight, rules across the board. No messing around, They crush any competition that tries to come their way, you know what I'm saying? So we also have the United States Department of Justice. I don't want to quote too much of J.G. Barr over here.
Yeah,
but
he's a piece of shit, too.
This is the, I mean, this is the people that, I mean, they're making these guys look good. They're making like Donald Trump and Barr look good when it comes to this stuff. When it comes to the general people, like the ideology of everybody across the board, they're like, well, yeah, Google shouldn't be doing those things. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be manipulating the situation. They shouldn't be taking down stories and whatnot and putting other ones forward. They shouldn't be taking their search engines and saying, you can't look up socialism.
Well, they shouldn't. But let's be honest. A lot of these people, a lot of these Republicans are only saying that because they're being attacked. If I've seen it happen where the other way around, if there's exposés on them, they're like, no, let's take that down. So there's a lot of hypocrisy here. There's a lot of political manipulation. It's not like these people are suddenly fighters for our freedom and civil liberties. Not people like William Barr who want to like give sedition charges to a bunch of protesters. I'm not in any way advocating for these people, but what I am saying is that the Democratic Party is really making Donald Trump look like a martyr and a victim, and is attacking in their effort to literally go after the right. They're literally attacking people who are telling the truth, the establishment, the anti-establishment, who are trying to expose the corruption within our own state. That's really who they're going after, who the establishment is going after. I think everything else is political games, but the reality is they're more threatened by what we're doing here right now on the show than they are threatened by anything that the Democratic establishment or the Republican establishment are doing. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, the anti-establishment left and the anti-establishment independent, whatever, those are the people that are the ones that are being silenced. They really could care less about everybody else, but it's really us like that they're targeting.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an anti establishment right there too as well. People who go against the grain. I would say those libertarians are a little bit against the grain when it comes to the establishment. They do kind of lean with them and stuff like that. But the anti-establishment left doesn't even exist in Congress. So
not
it's
in
only
Congress.
Us. It's us. But this is the thing where we got to call balls and strikes, because the thing about it is when it comes to this topic, it's a shame that the left is now behind on civil liberties compared to some of the right now. I'm not saying that the whole right's that way, but there are more people like those libertarian-minded people on the right who are like, no, you can't do this. You do not take away our right to say it, lest you say it yourself. No way. Freedom of speech is important. It's a bedrock. I would like to see more of that from the progressives on the left, because shows like this, just taking it down, censoring us, burying stuff on Google. Remember the Democratic convention when we had the gaggle? I don't even want to call it the press conference. Johnny spent so many hours down here putting these up, and you start looking on Google, and it's like on page 12. Meanwhile, they're the only ones that have footage of what's going on in the actual convention. But you put up Democratic Convention, Long Beach, Cory Booker. We're on page 12. Only Cory Booker's one is on first page, and the rest of it is just crap. They want to censor the voice. They want to keep everybody silent. I'm not going to really much of this statement because a lot of the stuff when the tweets were in the statement, but pretty much it just harps on the antitrust part of this whole situation, and the fact that they are using their search engine to manipulate people's their own narrative, and get their own word out, and that's a big thing. We proved it on the show when Johnny did the socialist thing. There is one person in Congress who was kind of screaming about this too as well. He's a Republican, not crazy about it, but he was there to break it. Matt Gaetz. Today, the Department of Justice launched an antitrust law against Google. Now, Matt Gaetz, there's a lot of things I don't like about Matt Gaetz, especially when it comes to immigration, but he's an anti-war. He's got kind of that libertarian mind. He wants to get out of Afghanistan, and he's good here. I was literally, searching yesterday for a Democrat, somebody that would retweet this, that I can put up there. The closest I can find a named person was Jamal at the Progressive Soapbox. Like, I was looking for AOC. I was looking through, Facebook. I'm like, come on, somebody talk about this. Somebody retweet this. This is big. I mean, they might not win the lawsuit, but maybe they can get them to get out beg a little bit. Maybe they can get them to behave a little bit so we can have some form of freaking freedom of speech. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to come from the establishment, because, again, they're all politicizing this for their own benefit, because they want to, they want to go after Biden. And then the other side wants to go after Trump. And we're all just stuck in this political game of political football. Meanwhile, we're the ones being censored. We're the ones that are getting our rights infringed upon. And we shouldn't play into that game of playing politics and who's right and who isn't. I think the reality is none of these people really care. They're all just playing politics, and the change is going to come if people like us and other people that are being silenced in media, other journalists, etc., start saying, we're not going to take this anymore, and we're going to come together in a class action lawsuit, and at least maybe this will set a precedent for it. But I mean, I don't really see that coming from the top. I think it's got to come from the people for anything to happen.
And the
I
people got to
don't
wake up to
rely-
this, though, fam. They got to wake up to
they
this.
do gotta wake up
they're
to it,
sleeping
but
on this
I'm
one
not
because they know
relying
how important
on.
it is.
I'm not going to rely on the government to curtail.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's either one. I don't want the government in charge of it, and I don't want these companies in charge of it either.
But that's the real danger of Biden when it comes to our civil liberty. He gets back in there. Google's going to prop him up, not put him down.
Of course.
He's their candidate. So now everybody goes back to sleep on this. The fact that they're going after Donald Trump and he's lashing back is the only reason why it's news right now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
he's
I don't think it's
screaming
going to go
that
back
stuff.
to like normal, like in 2008 with Obama, 2012 with Obama. I don't think it's going to happen the same way. I think too many people are already attuned.
I hope so. Because
But
with
it's
Clinton,
still
it was the
gonna happen.
CNN, it was the Clinton
Yeah.
News Network, and they propped him up left and right. They carried this guy. That's why they called it the Clinton News Network. Then you had Google with Obama, and now you have Google going after Donald Trump. It's a different time, different era. So I'm very curious to see what's going on. But I am still very saddened by the fact that I didn't see this retweeted or shared enough by enough people. This last tweet over here, it says Raheem Kassam, not a big fan of his, but I just had to put this one in because I was looking through a couple hundred of these. He goes, on the same day the DOJ dings Google for antitrust issues, Google News randomly notifies for this trash story. And it says Tuesday, October 20th, Google News, CNET AOC is streaming Among Us on Twitch right now. So I thought it would be a great segue to what's going on. I mean, really, they're putting out stuff for antitrust laws going on. We have all this stuff with Hunter Biden. What is AOC and Ilhan doing, fam?
AOC and Ilhan are busy playing this game. What game is it? Among Us? Yeah, I'm definitely not.
What is
I'm
Among
sorry.
Us?
I have no idea. It's some game where there's little people.
It's an awesome game.
Is it? Is that those are the
it
guys you
looks
have in
really
the thumbnail,
dumb
right?
to me, but
Yeah, you play online with a bunch of people. It's like 10 people, and you're on this little ship, and then you're supposed to communicate with each other, do these tasks, and then one person is like an imposter, like an alien or something,
yeah,
and they can only kill and sabotage the plane. So then you have to figure out who it is and vote them out, or the imposter wins.
why doesn't the
when they-
combo couch play this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
I'd be down to figure out who the imposter is, and it'd probably be Pasta. So
The impasta. So join me and
Okay,
this person,
so-
that person. I'm on Twitch tonight as we help.
So AOC said that she and God, I can't stand Hassan. Okay, that her
Pokimane.
and these other two people were gonna play on Twitch and help folks make a plan for voting at iwillvote.com and officially declare orange sus on Among Us.
Yeah, so everyone, the sus thing, it's like, oh, everyone has a color in the game, so it's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, orange has been sus,
Suspect.
Suspect, exactly.
See, I'm not that much of a
Yeah.
gamer.
Gen Z lingo there.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
but it's like
it's funny that they make
is
it the orange man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
It fits. It's
Right.
kinda- it's good marketing there.
Right.
good
And
programming.
so she's over there,
Program
blah
some
blah
people.
blah, and she's doing this
Just
shit.
to let y'all know, Pokimane has, let's see, 2.5 million followers. Yeah, she's a huge streamer on Twitch, like one of the biggest ones there.
Yeah, and
I'm just letting y'all know that this is like a
No,
big thing.
They got
I
a lot of
know.
people there, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so obnoxious too.
And it's like programming the orange
Right.
man bad. Orange man bad.
Well, that's the least
He's
of my worries.
suspect.
For
Well,
me,
he is bad.
Yeah, but he is bad. But that's the least of my worries for me is Donald Trump in this it's AOC is the one that I'm more getting these nefarious Obama vibes from. Justice Democrats said the nerds are playing video games on Twitch right now, and it's AOC and Ilhan, and they're all excited with their little nerdy face, and it's just okay, let's just all forget everything that's happening. Let's go have a nice game of this on Twitch. But we haven't fucking addressed anything that's been going on. You're not addressing what's going on with Joe Biden. She hasn't addressed Julian Assange. She hasn't talked at all about anything
Yeah.
regarding any of this happening right
What did
now.
Nico say?
People are in the middle of a fucking pandemic. People are literally in the middle of getting evicted, and she could be doing so much. Instead, she's playing Twitch to get people to vote for Joe Biden. Like, that's what it is. You can flat out say it.
Yeah.
You're doing this to get people to vote for Joe Biden. Like, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you don't have to, like, you can hate Trump all you want. Like, but you don't have to go and sit there and push this whole Democratic Party narrative. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's become one of them. Among us, the imposter is you, AOC. You're the fucking imposter.
Hey.
We put you in there
We
to
found
oppose
you.
the freaking Democratic establishment, and instead you're over there cozying up to them, hanging out with Kamala Harris and saying happy birthday, Kamala, and all this bullshit. And people are like, well, she has to do that. She has to play. No, she doesn't. You don't have to
Why
do
do they
that.
keep saying
Why do
that?
you keep making excuses for her? You sound like the people making excuses for Barack Obama. Like, this is happening again. We're getting another Obama.
Yeah.
They're setting her up to be the next fucking Obama. And I don't care if you guys think I'm being like, that I'm exaggerating, because I'm not. Like, I can see it. I see the writing on the wall. They're using her to sheep herd people back into the Democratic Party to make it like, oh, this is a battle to get Donald Trump out, and then everything's going to be great, and we're going to be able to blah, blah, blah. They're putting out symbolic opposition, but no actual real policy legislative opposition. They don't care that Nancy Pelosi literally just said, feed them, and they had zero commentary to provide on that. Even Wolf Blitzer had some commentary on that, but AOC, the squad, can't be bothered to really say anything against Mama Bear Pelosi, because if they did, who knows what would happen to them. Oh no, they have to protect their seats. Well, when did it become more important for you to have a political career than it was to have the people? I thought it was about you going into there to represent the people. That's not what she's fucking doing. And it's just so unnerving, because she has so much popularity and so much pull, and she could be using that to actually push change, just like people like Shama Sawant are doing. Instead, she's using it to self-promote this idea, oh, I'm so cool, all the Gen Z love me, look at me playing video games, I'm so relatable.
Yeah.
Like,
It's here's what you said, fam. She's so popular, whatnot. So it doesn't. Nancy Pelosi can't affect her status out there right now. In fact, if she knocked heads with Nancy and said, I'm not gonna join you for anything, I'm gonna oppose you, I'm gonna make sure you're not the next Speaker of the House, I'm done playing your game and stuff like that, and Nancy pulled all her credentials, took out all her seats or whatever and stuff like that, she's still gonna get reelected. She's gonna outlast them. She has the voice, she has the ear of the people. And when you have the ear of the people, you don't need to capitulate to Congress. You can just say, no, I'm going to oppose you. And I'm so popular, I'm taking my squad with me. We're going to get new people in here. Now we're going to have 8 of us off to the side, real progressives, and we're going to oppose you on everything until you give up your leadership.
And not only that, she could start mass protests,
way.
Pasta. She could literally be
So
like,
many
okay,
things.
me over here, everybody's going to protest on
Press
this day.
releases.
We're going to do this. Not, like, literally, she has that power, and she's not doing it.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, too, is like, I would like to return to the whole kind of, I wish, and that's the whole thing. They're stuck in this dilemma right now. They're pushing this guy Biden at this moment. And, they can't even go after Donald Trump on policy. They have to just go out on like, oh, these other things. Like, oh, he's awful, he's bad, he's the orange man. And we know that. But you have to also then say, this is why he's bad. Look what he did to these people. Look what he did he gave these rich people the tax cuts. Oh, yeah, but the Democrats want to do that. The Democrats you support do that. So they're caught in these quagmires of not being able to really go out and attack the opposition because they've capitulated to their own side, which does the same tactics all the time. So it's really this whole quagmire that these Democrats, these progressives are stuck in right now. Really. I mean, they don't have a history of doing a lot of shit stuff. Right now, they're being silent on certain things when it comes to civil liberties, imperialism, all that stuff going on, ballot harvesting. They should be speaking out, Julian Assange. So they're being quiet right now, but they don't have a history of trash. However, they've painted themselves in a corner because they're supporting people who are just as corrupt as the Republicans that they oppose.
And I just, and you're exactly right. And you know what? Instead of doing anything at all, they're just continuing the same sort of propaganda machine for the Democratic Party. There is no reform in the Democratic Party because that is what happens to people who go and run as a progressive into the Democratic Party. She hasn't ever, not even once, given an ounce of support to Sid Buttar, Nancy Pelosi's opponent. Gee, I wonder why. And it's disgusting to see her continue to really just make it all about her. Like, oh, look, I'm playing this game. It's all about me. Oh, Orange Man bad. Look at Sunil Han. Ha, ha, ha. This is all symbolism. Meanwhile, there's nothing on rent, nothing on anything
Yeah.
with the censorship that's been happening. Nothing on the fact, like no opposition to Pelosi and what she's done and said. Nothing. It's just all symbolics, more platitudes. It's bullshit, and I think more and more people are seeing through it. But I still think it's not enough. I still think her popularity is skyrocketing with no sort of accountability to her. And people like AOC, to me, if she continues on this route, are extremely dangerous, because I don't know how many times she's been asked by Gloria Jones on the chats on the games where she got blocked or kicked out of these rooms. Are you going to speak out on Julian Assange? Tulsi Gabbard asked her, are you going to support my bill? Are you going to do this? 0, 0, 0 silence on any actual legislation, because it's not popular and sexy to put out legislation and policy. You only get Yas Queen if you go on Twitch, if you go on these shows, RuPaul's Drag Race. That's you get Yas Queened if you do stupid shit like that, but not if you actually go and push out legislation. That's not popular. Then you must be a right winger if you actually do any work instead of being praised. And then people wonder why Donald Trump is president. Really? Yeah. You literally create monsters, America. You elevate these politicians to this celebrity style where they're like some sort of like god that you can't even criticize. You become their sycophants and their cheerleaders. And then you can't, you create this idolatry, and then you can't even bring yourself to say, hey, maybe they shouldn't be doing this. Maybe they should be doing that instead, because you're too busy sucking their genitals to actually give a damn about anything else. Meanwhile, everybody else is fucked and they're dying. Yeah. And AOC can continue playing her video games and continue getting praise up until the point of 2024. People are like, AOC 2024, because that's going to change. Putting another egotistical person at the helm. And then you complain about Donald Trump being a businessman, a con man, a celebrity. Well, there you go, America. You love celebrities, don't you? You love creating these people, to these egos, these giant egos, and then you complain about why we have them at the helm of our political spectrum.
Yeah, and it's so ridiculous. People are like, well, Ilhan Omar has a bill to forgive rent. Okay, well, why doesn't she call a press conference, her and the squad, stand on the steps of the Capitol and go, we want this bill put on the floor. Nancy Pelosi, put this bill up for a vote. Put Nancy could take that bill to the floor and put it up for a vote. They'll never do it. They just put it out there. It's virtue signaling.
Symbolics.
You're not trying. It's symbolism, because you're not trying to really push it through. Put it on the floor. But to do that, you'd have to oppose Nancy Pelosi. You'd have to call her out and say, here's the standalone bill.
How dare you say this
3 pages
to these people in the middle of a pandemic? How dare you tell
this
guy that you feed them? You're not feeding them. We're not feeding them, Nancy.
Yeah.
These people are going hungry. These people are becoming homeless. We're not feeding them. How dare you say that?
Yeah.
That's not okay. Why can't you fucking say that? They can't even say that. They can't even do that symbolically.
Yeah, they can't even do that. But if they wanted to do these things, they could do that. So make no mistake of it. They can really ruffle feathers. I mean, Nancy Pelosi controls the House, right? She controls what comes up. She's
the most powerful woman in Congress.
The most powerful Democrat right now, technically. Yeah. And she controls the votes that go to the House. Just take Ilhan Omar's bill and put it up for a vote. Why won't she do that? She'll never do that. But why won't Ilhan, the squad, AOC, why won't they put her on blast and say, take this rent forgiveness bill, put it on the floor? Well, it's not going to get passed. I don't give a shit. Let people go on the record for it. If there's going to be Democrats voting against a rent relief bill, then they're going on the record.
We need to know who they are so we can vote them out.
They protect each other, fam, and AOC and the squad are part of that protection.
Damn. I'm just so done with it.
Bureau of Labor Statistics down below. Yeah, that one. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to go over a couple of things that are actually going on while AOC is playing Twitch. In September, the number of unemployed persons
right in the middle of that
who were jobless, it's actually the picture, less than 5 weeks increased by 271,000 to 2.6 million. The number of persons jobless from 5 to 14 weeks decreased by 402,000 to 2.7 million. And the number of persons jobless 15 to 26 weeks fell by 1.6 million to 4.9 million. But the number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, increased by 781,000 to 2.4 million. So it increased tripled. The amount of long-term unemployed people has tripled in that amount of time. Just so you guys have the statistics of what's been going on while they're playing this game. And I know the last one I wanted to read is the number of persons who are not in the job force who currently want a job is 7.2 million. And that changed little in September. And this measure is 2.3 million higher than in February. These people were not counted as unemployed because they were not actively looking for work during the last 4 weeks or were unavailable to take a job. So I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people think that things have gotten better. Well, unemployment went down from about 10% to about 8%, but that's going to go back up. And I'll tell you why, because now that people have reopened, a lot of these businesses aren't generating the same revenue that they were expecting. And there's too many things, especially in California, where Gavin Newsom has these stupid rules where we're going to open retail and we're going to open certain things, but we're not going to open like restaurants inside. We're not going to do this. It makes zero sense whatsoever because he's playing politics. He wants to definitely be the most woke when it comes to COVID. So he's playing politics, and
Biden's like that too.
and so that's what they're doing right here in California. Meanwhile, small businesses are going under because they're not getting the help because the Congress is completely stupid and irrelevant and useless. And so nothing's coming into those people. The people that were working in those small businesses are out of a job entirely, and people aren't really hiring the same as they would be because you can't really go and have the same amount of people working for you when you don't have the volume. And also, even if you did have the volume, you don't have the space because now everything has to be outside. Nobody cares about that shit because they're like, well, whatever, like those people, who cares about them? Well, those people are the middle class. Those people are the ever shrinking middle class, and now that employ the working class, and now the working class doesn't have jobs to go to. So of course you're seeing the overall long-term unemployment go up. Why aren't we talking about this? Why isn't there a push for a relief bill that is solely on COVID? Donald Trump said he would sign that, but I'm sure if the Democrats tried to one-up him and said, you know what, this is a sole COVID bill, we're going to do this and that, offer rental relief, that would put the ball in Trump's court instead of the other way around where it's at right now. But instead, we're too busy playing symbolics, trying to go play Twitch. And it's like, I'm not saying you can't play fucking Twitch right now because you need to have an avenue. Johnny plays, what does he play? No, Call of Duty. He plays Call of Duty.
Years of War.
Black Ops, or what is it? Okay, well, it's the new one. Whatever. He plays Call of Duty, to alleviate his stress.
Hockey.
You play hockey. I'm not saying
I get Barzy, forget about it.
I'm not saying don't play that to alleviate your stress, but when you're a congresswoman and you're not really doing anything, and it just seems like this is all a ploy to get people to vote for Joe Biden, when that's not solving anything. We have very real issues we could solve right here in the now, but we're busy playing politics. It's really a disservice to the American people.
She could be a strong voice pushing Nancy to do the one-time stimulus bill that Trump is saying. Be like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yep.
Let's just do it. Let's get money into the hands of the people. Let's just
It-
do that.
Ro
One
Khanna
page.
said it, yeah.
One page.
One page. Yeah.
One-page bill.
Trump said, I'll sign a bill for $1,200 to another $1,200 right now. He says, I'll sign it right now. Give it to me. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
like still scraps. But
It's
like,
still scraps,
what
so
the
they
fuck?
could come back and
something
say,
right now. They can do another one.
no, she can come back and say, well, $1,200 plus this and that, because that's an insult because blah blah blah. But she won't do that because she's got to put whatever she wants to put, her little pet projects, in the bill.
Yeah.
And that's all that's all these people do. They play partisan politics with people's lives, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, Rashida Tlaib also has a 2-page bill, Johnny, as well, saying you give somebody like $2,400 up front and $1,200 a month for a year after the pandemic is
that's
over
good.
with. Now, once again, it's a standalone bill. It might not get signed, but will be a negotiating part. And here's the thing. Well, the Congress will never go for it. If you put a standalone bill through and you vote for it and the other people who vote against it, they're going to be on record.
Yeah.
And their constituents are going to
Yep.
call them
Especially
and say,
right
how
now.
dare you not give that
Right
bill and
now.
stuff like that and stuff. And the president's sitting there going, I'll sign the $1,200 bill. Give it to me right now. So you're telling me if he had an $1,800 bill, he's going to say no? He'll sign it. You know what I'm saying? They can reach some type of agreement standalone. But Nancy Pelosi's playing politics. She doesn't want to send it through now because it's going to look good on Trump.
Yeah.
And that's why. So she's going to hold this thing and try to kick it off the wall. But it's how bad is it going to make it look for them? And that appearance on Wolf Blitzer really, really did sack them. It was really, really bad. So yeah, I'm talking, Johnny, if you go back to the beginning, like April, that's when she put that shit out there. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
It was a long time. It was in the beginning.
And real quick, I just want to show.
I love this
that
picture. Look at those teeth.
AOC debut Twitch stream peaks at 439,000. The Congresswoman
That's a
played
smile.
Among Us with popular streamers Pokimane, Dr. Lupo, and Hassan Piker, becoming the third highest viewed individual stream behind the Ninja Drake collaboration and Return of the Shroud, which I don't know what that is, but Ninja and Drake did something. This is part of the
Yo,
some
can we
footage
do
from
the
the
thing?
game.
It was an honor. It was an honor.
So AOC killed Pokimane. She was the imposter, but no. But I just wanted to show y'all that
AOC got her?
it was the number 3 most viewed stream in Twitch history.
Plot twist: AOC is the imposter.
Wow.
We called it here on the show. AOC is the imposter. And if it was a video game, I would eliminate the imposter because I don't like imposters.
Let's vote.
In real life, the imposter is Among Us. That's where we're at right now. The world is upside down, topsy-turvy. People I thought were going to go in there and take on the establishment and said all these wonderful things and blah, 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 and this and that, and said that they were Bernie supporters, a revolution. The revolution is not Joe Biden. The revolution is not voting in Joe Biden. That is not a revolution. That is a capitulation. You have capitulated to the establishment, and it's somebody like AOC doing that has more weight than people that we know doing that because they're not in Congress. She is. So yes, she is held to a higher standard as to what she does. And if she wanted that job, well, there it is. That's the job. You are held to a higher standard. You should know what you're talking about. We shouldn't have to tell you how to do your fucking job. You should be doing your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, if we can figure out what needs to be done, then I'm sure people in Congress should be able to figure it out. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because if people like Jimmy Dore can figure it out, a jagoff comedian, like he says, I don't understand why all these people with all these degrees from Harvard can't figure it out, or are they're just psychopathic. And then people like AOC, who we put in there to fight them, end up joining them and becoming one of them because they want the power. Yeah. They want power. This is why I agree with Ron on the whole people shouldn't run for office anymore. They should be recruited. You need to recruit people for office, because the people that end up running for office are always a bunch of egos that at the end of the day they just want power and they want that title and they want this
they're recruited too, but by a different group of people.
Well, but that's the thing, they're recruited
by
into the Democratic Party though. Stop. Like,
AOC makes me think about the whole situation, fam. We're talking about Joe Crowley. It's like, now I go back and I think about it, I'm like, Joe Crowley was like the second strongest Democrat behind Nancy Pelosi. He was eventually going to take over the House or position and stuff like that. Now I start thinking about AOC came in pretty easy over there, and she's really now capitulating, and she's just pretty much like, she's become so vanilla on everything. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's just Twitch games instead of talking about serious policies.
Zero
on election integrity, nothing on Assange, nothing terrible in
look
imperialism.
At what's happening right now. We're being censored left and right. Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just play Twitch.
Russia Bot came on the Rockfin to say hi, Fee. So your friend Russian Bot is there. Russian Bot.
Can you help us find that check?
Yeah, I'm looking for my Putin check.
Over here
I haven't seen it. Glory Jones needs her rubles too.
You can't have a revolution through
Glory
voting,
Jones,
says
where's your
Pishman.
rubles?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Real quick, it looks like we just passed 1,000. I didn't even know. Followers on Instagram. We're on Instagram.
Yeah,
we post a lot of good stuff there. If you're on Instagram, go on Instagram.
Follow us on Insta.
Follow us
I like that one there.
Look at this one that Fee posted, I think, right?
Yeah.
The people of Bolivia, a lithium-stealing capitalist dickhead named Elon Musk. You gonna fly now, Elon? Don't think so. Have fun.
And I just posted that thumbnail. You know, people have been liking it.
Now that I get it.
Which show today do you think is more? Which thumbnail do you think is more accurate? AOC versus working class, or AOC and progressives? A lot of people are saying the working class one is more accurate. And then, you know, just our story. You can watch our little story. You know, we post a lot of stuff here. There's Pasta's tweets. YouTube spent the last 5 days purging accounts not from just
right. Why aren't we talking about that?
I posted this. Burn down Amazon is.
It's true. You see that? That is very accurate. Those are the radicals on the left, the more authoritarian left, but they're ready to burn it down. The ones on the right, which is where we're all at. On the left, I mean, on the green part, that's where we're all at. We want to protect the Amazon. Even you're a leftist libertarian sort of sorts. Yeah. Then the other fucks are all on the right. They're completely
protect Amazon, the company.
Yeah. and burn
The
the
Amazon
Amazon.
yeah, that's
It's
great.
perfect.
That is great.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for today. Johnny, anything else?
47% of Americans ate more plant-based food during COVID-19.
Oh, I watched the video, the honey video you sent about why we shouldn't eat honey, and I have to call out Graham Elwood for being a honey apologist because
a bee
Pasta's
sympathizer.
right.
Did you see that? They
Pasta.
inseminate the queen bee.
poor bees, you guys.
Told ya.
It's disgusting.
Done told you.
I'm just
They
gonna
do
send
to the queen bee is not right. They rip her wings off sometimes. They drug her up. It's terrible.
guys. We're planning a
Don't
really
be Hunter
good.
Biden with bees.
Johnny, you're not done yet, right? We're planning a giant election day show on November 3rd
And 4th,
and 4th.
the day after. If
Mhm. If
it still might be the day of.
Is it? I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but what we do know is that we will be there covering it. We will have special guests from all over the country, and we will have up-to-date election analysis and, of course, also the results coming in as much as we can. We're really excited, so you should definitely join us.
It was pretty good, fam. I mean, but you did mention that we're going to be on most of our platforms and the fact that we'll be streaming all day and all night. But aside from that, pretty good.
Fam, wasn't it great, fam?
Fam, it was great.
There you go. Next shot, next day. This is the end of this show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Rockfin. For those of you who did so today, if you haven't done so, please go over and do so. Also, make sure you hit the subscription and like button to the True Rebel Network
True
over there.
Rebel Network.
True Rebel Network. Beverly Jensen, great to see you. Anthony Reyes over there and Brilliant Wonderful and Red Sea Socialist. We appreciate you. Also, we are on our Facebook as well, and we have a Patreon. If you want to go on over, give us a $1, give us $2, $5, anything helps. If you don't have any money, just watch us. That helps us in itself. So, for Pasta Jardula,
Fee.
Johnny, Sue,
Peace.
combo out.
The imposters are among us.